I have been getting to look at all of the awesome civics courses that come out of partners from Harvard that are present for DESE educators and are kind of being revamped and excitingly released soon. And one of the resources that I found is so cool. People who have been following the channel for a long time will note that I talked about a Q sort and the potential for a Q sort, which is basically sorting statements that you agree or disagree with on a continuum. And there is a very precise way to sort these statements for agreement. And I was like, I think this would be really cool. They do it in research. We could totally do it with kids. And then I found this resource and I was like, oh my gosh, there is something creative that we could do with kids. So we're going to check it out. We're actually going to look at an adapted version of this activity. I'll talk about all that in a moment, but let's just get right to it. Okay, so you'll know I just want to make sure we get this credit correct. So this is from the Democratic Knowledge Project. I have not been able to find the direct link to this, so I apologize. We're just going to kind of get a visual for what it looks like, and hopefully in the future I will have a direct resource. But for now, we have just like this visual. Tom Trainor, who's a teacher in Cambridge Public Schools, adapted it for direct work with students. So there is this instruction kind of one-pager. It basically says you're going to get all these cards. There's 25 numbered cards. And you're going to think about which are least like me, neutral, and most like me. And so once you sort those into the categories, then you're going to take up each pile. They suggest starting with the most like me pile and then go to least like me and then do the middle. And you're going to sort, here are the statements. You're going to sort them like this. And so here's an example. I mean, this is 1, 2 through 25. But this is how you're going to be able to sort them, where we have, let me see, here we go, least like me on one side, most like me on another side, and this would be the student worksheet. So we have kind of like a +4, you get 1 that is the most like you. You get 1 that is the least like you, and then you have more and more as you go to the middle. And so you would go ahead and take each of these and you would drag them on to create kind of your grid. Now you could do this with sticky notes, with statements that you have the students write out, whatever it is. But then as long as you have a board, something like this, you do not have to do -4 to +4. You could do fewer number of statements and just do -3 to +3. You could change this however you want. You could do a lot fewer statements and just take off the edge of each of these. So you would take off this box, this box, this box, this, right? And just kind of take off that V. The reasons I love this activity so much is that it generates student thinking. And then what you can do is you can invite students to discuss a question after they've done some initial thinking and sorting through some various statements that might relate to a particular topic. So I think there's a really cool jumping off point when it comes to this as a activity. People have used anticipation guides, human barometer we've done in the past, right? But this is just one other version that you could get people to do. I've also talked about using it in a past video around research. So this is in relation to the student-led civics project. If one of the research opportunities for a student doing a project for civics could be that they're researching ideas in the community, they might come up with the statements. And then once you teach them how to do this and have them do it themselves, they can actually go out and do this with their research participants and their community engagement opportunities, where they could say, hey, we're working on this policy. Here's a range of statements around this particular topic or policy. Sort for me and then explain your thinking, right? That could be so, so cool. So in addition to this, we are going to link to the page that is all about student-led discourse. It's kind of a best of podcast episodes page for student-led discourse. So check that out and subscribe to the podcast. You can listen here on YouTube. Where are we? YouTube. Or you could go right to your favorite podcast platform.